Maybe. You never know. You never know. And I don't think I'll ever really be sure until I get a second monitor. Which. Da-da-da. Hey, it looks like we're online. Yay! But yeah, off on that tiny tangent. And I need to mute it. Okay. Because I just forgot everything, obviously. Um, so yeah, welcome to the August 11th TextQuest dev stream. Man, the summer just went right by. Um, so we're going to be, a couple of announcements, I guess, real quick. So the rest of this week's stream is going to go same as before. So, tonight and Thursday I'll be streaming. But I think starting next week, I'm probably going to switch to a slightly different schedule with one stream a week, sort of more of a showcasing stream to let people know what's going on. Mostly because the school year is starting back up and I'm going back to graduate school. And that just eats up a lot of my time. It's going to eat up a bunch of my time, actually. Probably 90% of it. Which means that I'm just going to be dead tired whenever I come home and work on TextQuest. So I won't be streaming twice a week would probably be a bit much, mostly because the streams wouldn't be that entertaining. It wouldn't be anything really new. It would be a lot of busy work, probably. So I'm thinking that we're going to switch to a one-day stream thing, with maybe one other day being used for something else. I don't know. I've been thinking of doing some sort of weird podcast show with other game developers from around the area. But that's sort of an offhand thing. That needs to have a lot of more thought put into that before I even do anything with it. So yeah, that's just something that you should keep in mind if you're, a dedicated watcher, stream viewer. I don't think watcher's a word. And I broke Maya. Oh, really? Great. What did I do? Okay, fine. Maya, be that way. So Maya's busted. We will. I can never win. Just. Really? Can't even close out of this. Well, fun thing. Control delete. Hooray, you guys get to see me force quit Maya! Because I'm impatient. There we go. And then we're going to have screenception there. But then we're also going to open Maya back up. Because there's nothing Maya doesn't like doing more than wasting mine and yours time. So, I guess other things going on. Still kind of chugging away at stuff. JSON parser, I'm doing a lot more stuff with the Google. I got distracted by Google apps scripts for the JSON stuff. Which is not really my fault, I'd like to think. It's mostly because Google's scripting language is sometimes nonsensical. Sometimes it's okay, but other times to do simple stuff is just really tough. It's just because of the way that they've designed it. You have to do some sort of, a lot of weird communication between JavaScript and the Google script itself. It's not a great thing to do. But that's something I've been working on. I've got a little tool. I guess I could show you real quick. I've got a little tool set up. Scripts. That will. I sort of showed this off before, but it's actually gone through quite a bit of changes since I showed it to you guys last. It's basically a convenience thing to let me export CSVs to JSON or XML. And I'm planning on publishing this, so if other people want to use it, they can. So you can select, XML, XML single sheets, or JSON, which are just two common data formats. And then you can do stuff like replace the existing file that you export, unwrap JSON if it's only got a single row, like this NPC tab does. And that's mostly for convenience if you're parsing data. And you can also visualize it if you don't want to export it. So it's just small stuff. I don't know how much use this would be to other developers, but it's been pretty time consuming for me to write this. It's not necessarily something that was hard, it was just awkward. because I'd never done any sort of Google scripting before. So I figure if I can get this out and have other developers who need to export CSVs to or spreadsheets to JSON or XML for some reason, that'd be great. I'd be able to go to sleep happy knowing that other people, or I've saved time for other people. But yeah, that's something I've been working on. It's not quite finished. The last thing I really need to do is just format these two visualize and export buttons at the bottom to make them nice and CSE or CSSE. Again, not a word. But yeah, that's just something that's been taking up a little bit of my time getting it to behave nicely and do all that stuff. But tonight we're going to be doing something different. We are actually going to, if I can find Maya again, we're actually going to turn off the freaking walls so that we can see everything. We're going to do a quick and dirty rebuild of the platform, which actually I have decided to call the Magma Lift, which means that lift is going to be on the sides, which I think works pretty great, actually. It's nice, it's short, it's simple to remember, and I honestly looked around for a long time to try and figure out what horizontal moving platforms were. And I couldn't find a word for them. It's not an elevator because it's not going up or down, and it's not an escalator, it's not a staircase of any kind, so platform and lift seem to be the only two that I really could find. So I chose to go with lift because it's simpler. It lets me do some more stuff visually, I think, since it's shorter. Platform is a very long word, and the longer a word is, the harder it is to texture it nicely. So we're going to come up with a texture for this today. It's probably going to be quick and dirty texture that I might end up revisiting later. But for now, I wanted to do something to sort of get this platform moving. And show you guys what that transition would look like. We've already set up the actual level transitions, but we haven't set up the platform moving and actually hitting the zone while you're in it. And we are going to have to probably do a couple of things to make it okay to do that with. I might end up raising the edges just a little bit to make it so that you can't jump out if you're in it. And that's mostly just for a convenience thing. Because the reason I left them down is so that you could get through it and jump onto this rail out here. But actually, I figure you can already do that by by walking up the railing here on the platform itself. So yeah, we're gonna redo the magma platform, probably texture it. And have it actually move from point A to point B, then load the other scene. So yeah, and also good news that's sort of not really relevant, I guess, directly to this is I ordered a second monitor, which means that you guys won't have to see this really, really dumb layout where the Twitch stream chat is there's two of them, because I know in the stream chat or in the stream there's two chat pop-up windows because I can't talk today. One of them is for me, and that's because it's streaming my entire desktop, and the other one is actually a separate screen capture of just it specifically. And I wanted to make sure that you guys could always see it, and I need to make sure that I can see it, so it's kind of a double thing for now. But once I get that second monitor in, I won't have to stream or have it take up twice as much space as needed. But anyway, that was sort of just a tangent. So we're going to go ahead and turn off the center layer, turn off the stuff layer, I think, or is it separate layer? Okay. But first, separate stuff. Let's move this magma lift out, and then let's turn off separate layer. And you know what? We're just gonna. Good. Let's just see what happens here. That's fine. I don't particularly. I just want to move it over so that I can see the rough dimensions of it, because it's more or less I'm going to make the same thing, just slightly different. So 0, 0, x of 0. Okay. So I believe. We'll call it magma lift. Can I do that? Nope, because magma lift is there. We'll just call it lift for now. does. I don't even. Which was a terrible internet meme thing. Oh, that made me feel old. I'm not even that old. Freaking 23. I sound like an old man. Never been good at pop culture references. 23? No, it was 2.5, wasn't it? I can check this very easily by just doing this. Yep. Okay, it was 2.5. And I'm going to assume... I don't know. Oops. Let's see. It's probably... Oh, what the... I scaled it. Never scale. Always change the actual dimensions of it. Because scaling causes extra draw, or causes things to not batch in a game engine. And you want things to batch most of the time. 3.5, I'm going to assume. Test that by... Boop, 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 boop. Yep, 3.5. Okay. And its height, I think, was 7. It was not 7. 4. That looks pretty close. Not quite, though. 4.5, then? Was it really everything 0.5? Yeah. That's kind of weird. I wonder why I did that. Well, probably to try and make it mesh a little better, but we'll see if we can get 4.5 to work. Okay. And then subdivisions. Let's see. Width, we want 1, 2, 3. Really? That's it? That seems odd. No, we want 5. Right? Yes. We want 5. Same thing with subdivisions depth. Want 5 again, or 5 as well. And then for width, or for height, I think we want 3. 1, 2, no, 4. So, just real quick. That is the floor. Nope, we need more. Always forget. So, let me do this real quick. So that is the hole for the rail. That is, if I can grab it, the floor. That's the top of the railing, and that is the bottom of the very top. So that should be right, except I probably made the exact same errors I made originally. You know me. Okay. So we're going to move you to, let's see, it is probably negative 1.5. So it's going to be 1.5. And this is going to be 1. Let's see. Nope. Freaking hate when I do that. Negative 1. I mean, this is going to be 1. Alright. So, now comes the fun part of trying to guess how wide. Actually, no, we don't need to guess. We know. So this is going to be negative 0.5. So that's one thing wide. That makes this 0.5. So it's 1 meter wide again. The center door that's going to swing open. The railing has to be at least probably 0.5. Let's try 0.5. Oh, crap. Negative 0.5. And that might actually be too wide. It is. So I'm thinking 0.4. And and negative 0.4. That looks pretty good. So we got the height, or no, we got the width and the depth stuff sorted out. Now we just got to do the height stuff. So height, probably looking at 2. The depth, or not depth, it's looking at, oops, not x, negative 1.25. That's what that's looking like to me. We want you to be 1. Pretty tall. But that's what we wanted, isn't it? Ah, crap. But it was about visual stuff, wasn't it? So let's go 0.8, which is slightly taller than what it was. That's because this has to be at 0. Or it's just, nope, that was at 0.8. So let's change that. Let's make you 0.85. Slightly higher, but not so high it's going to obstruct view, hopefully. Right. Now comes the fun part of replacing crap. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and drag Magma Rift back into separate stuff so it goes away. Then we're going to go ahead and get rid of these faces. And here's where it's not going to be too fun. Because I did exactly what I did the first time I modeled this out, where I modeled the skeletal structure, but not the inside. Which means I'm going to have to do a bunch of extruding if I want it to look right. Not great. Not great. Could do it. Could redo it real quick. Might be faster. Yep. Yep. That's what's going to happen, isn't it? Dang it. Or I could just undo all of this. And then, because that's like that, we can go back here and change our subdivision's height to, hopefully this won't screw anything up. To get rid of 2 of them, so 3, and of course it did. You can never win with this, can you? Well, okay, we know what it needs to look like at least. Actually, let's Command-Z that. Okay, so we're going to move this over. I'm getting really good at building this stuff. I mean, I say that in the sense of someone who has had to rebuild the exact same platform. The exact same, like, maybe 100 poly platform. Like 10 times. So its depth is 2.5, its width is 3.5, and its height is 4.5. Okay, so that's right. Move this over. So now, actually what we want to do is, instead of that being, so let's cut this in half. This is going to be 2.25 with a, actually, you know what, I'm going to cheat. So 4.4. We want that to be the actual height. And then I'm going to move this face down. The reason I did that is because that way our pivot stays at 0. At 0, 0, 0. Because when you export these things, their center point often serves as their pivot. I actually need to look more into that, mostly because my exports have sometimes had weird pivots, and I would like to set the origin and pivot point of everything. Sometimes it's okay, the actual pivot in the model is good, but then when I export it, it's just wonky. I don't know if it tries to just calculate the center automatically, but I really don't like when it does that. Because most of the time I want to have, like with the stalagmites and the stalactites, their pivot isn't at their base, it's in their center, which is really, really dumb. Because you don't want to have to try and guesswork a distance away from the wall or surface they're attached to. So anyway, so we have this. We have subdivision's depth was 5, and man, like you can't win. So let's try this again. Subdivision's depth 5, subdivision's width 5, and subdivision's height 3. So with that, let's just do this. So we grab the top, move you, and the entire thing's. Dang it. Oh, do I actually? No, I don't even need. Okay. Let's just do 2. That's fine. Let's move the edge down to, I believe it was negative 1.25. So that leaves the face up top to be selected and moved to Y0. Okay. So now, oops, not UVs. So now everything's zeroed out. We have our base. So now I'm going to position all of the slices. Then I'm going to then I'm going to extrude things, and then I'm going to do our patented bridge to actually make it. How long this is taking me? I'm willing to bet we're not going to get to texturing tonight. So we might just plop it into Unity and animate it, which is fine because texturing isn't that. I mean, I've already shown you guys how I texture things. It's not a particularly intensive process, although you do get to see me sort of grit my teeth and go like, why won't it match up perfectly? So that's fine. So we guessed this to be at Z1, this to be at negative 1, this to be at, oops, not Z, negative 1.5, and this to be at 1.5. This was placed at negative 0.5 versus 0.5. Okay. So now we have our wonderful base and all of that. So we are going to grab these faces. And we are going to edit mesh, extrude. Oh, my extrude tool does not go to set height. That is interesting. It doesn't matter. 0.85. That's what we wanted. All right. And then we're going to extrude the pillars. Mesh, or edit mesh. Extrude. And I wonder, well, it's fine. Huh. Not quite. So, 1.75. Or 2. 2 works pretty well. So now comes the fun part of we're going to extrude one more time. It's going to go to 2.25. So with that, I think we're matched up. We can check here. Seem to be pretty close, if not exactly right. And now we get to have fun. I'm completely winging it here, seeing if this is going to work. There's probably going to be some problem with it that I can't think of. But for now, let's go to edge mode. Save, and then now we're going to do some bridging! Hooray! Everyone's favorite pastime here. on the Text Quest Dev Stream game show. 4 stars. Forever. Speaking of forever, anyone been watching Aqua Teen? Just kind of making small talk because, like any sane individual, I can't stand silence. It discomforts me. Or I suppose discomforts you because you have to hear me talk creepily like that. I do apologize for that. As they say, I have showmanship. Don't like to leave the audience wanting. I'd rather be booed off stage, obviously. Alright, so now get to this fun part. Bridge here. Bridge. Oops, not that. Oops. Angle. Too steep. Bridge. Oh yeah, by the way, I guess no one's watching, but if you have any interesting things that you would, well, let me rephrase that. If you happen to know any independent game developers who are working on a game right now, you can actually let me know about them, and I'll look into them. Because something I'm trying to do is add references to other independent or indie developed games in TextQuest. And that's just because, TextQuest, it's a text-based system, so it's not very hard for me to do that sort of thing. So yeah, right there, fancy, just quads, nice. It's not very hard for me to do that. So I want to try and get as much or as many shout-outs to other independent game developers as I can. Oh no, did I forget? Oh no, I forgot to space my Z. Crap. Go figure. Yeah. Oh no, yay, the edge loops are still fine. Good. We wanted that to be 0.4. Not X. -0.4. But yeah, if you just happen to know anyone, and you think they would be interested, feel free to either point them to me or point me to them, and have them tweet at me or something. It's not a lot of work on my end to get their stuff in there. Just to have them type 1 or 2 words into the parser and then have them spit something back out in regards to their game. Okay, so that's nice. That's nice and good, and we're great. We are great at our job. I think I might be able to actually just extrude this way if I'm really lucky, but I'm probably not. No, I don't think I can do that. But I could do this. Delete you. And delete you. And then just move. Or extrude this stuff. Mesh, edit, extrude. It's going to go to negative 1.25. Alright. And then delete the extra faces that got generated. So that should just be a nice platform. Get rid of this now. So, just to test, let's slide it over here. It's the correct width, it's the correct depth, and it's a good height. Alrighty then, that makes me happy. It makes me happy. Okay, so let's Command C that. Hit F to focus on it. So we have our nice, shiny new magma lift, and we are also going to grab these faces, and we're going to separate them to make them a door. So mesh, extract. So now we have this PQ1, polycube. We can delete this transform. Oops, I hit home, or I hit end at the same time. I hate double tapping keys. It always worries me. So, here's going to be the fun part. call this the lift. Call this the magma lift. Hope that it's fine. Okay, good, it is. Call this lift door, I guess. That's fine. And we are going to cheat real quick and add the lift to separate objects. That way I can just take care of this bridging real quick. So connect these two. Connect these two. Connect. And even though we'll never actually see the bottom, I'll do it just in case. I'm trying to keep sort of my head about, or my wits about me when I'm doing prefab stuff, and trying to set up stuff for a level editor, if I ever get around to doing a 3D level editor, which I would like to do, but you know, I don't really know what's going to be good for that or not. So let's take this out, remove selected objects, and then we're going to do the reverse and add the door. That way I can take care of these bridges. Yeah, I'm trying to, that was one of the reasons that I wanted to start converting over to JSON, as I said, when I was awkwardly flailing about my keyboard trying to get JSON to work real quickly. You know, I'm trying to keep things in the mindset of I would like to give you guys the tools to make your own content further down the road. You know, no promises, because I've never done something like that before, but you know, if I can get that to you guys, you'll be happier, I'll be happier, we'll all be one big happy family that way. God, that sounded really cynical. I swear to God, I'm not an asshole like that most of the time. Although I guess I do swear on my own stream, something I think I've tried to avoid before. Okay, so that's in there. We can get fancy and try to add animation. Yeah, it's only been half an hour. We can do that. And we don't have that awkward transform to work with now, so I don't have to worry about it or feel bad. So I gotta remember, because it's kind of right, because there's some weird stuff with animation between objects, but I think if I just do this, and it's been a while, I think it's enter, or is it space? It's not space E, it's S. There we go. I really hope that this is oh right, I gotta move the pivot. So it's insert. And I forgot how to turn on snapping again. I think I can do it up here, though. Yeah, here we go. Snap to grids. Snap to points is what I want. Yes. Right. Yes. I want it to snap right there. Perfect. Okay. So with that, we're going to go ahead to, say, 30 frames. Oh, wait. Nope. We're going to go to 2 frames. Go to the magma lift. Hit S again, go back to the lift door, then go forward to 30 frames, and with that, we're going to rotate, which I have discrete rotation on, right? I do, good. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. Now, we want to do 90. Because I could go wider. I am going to go wider because if I go 90, there's the very real possibility that people will trap themselves between that door and this platform corner. I do not want to risk that. So we are going full think there. So not quite all the way. Oh, wow, really off center there. Not quite all the way off or touching the other wall again, but still. I don't even know what I was going to say there. It's better. It's not going to trap people. So with that, we'll go back to Magma Lift. We'll hit S again. Dang it. I was worried about that. So, right. I think I can say delete. Right. So I do animation on the child objects, not on the parent objects. Gross. Let's go back to 30. Go back to the lift door. We'll hit S here. Let's go back to 2. We'll rotate U closed. Hit S here. To 1. Hit S again. Okay. I can't really... I couldn't remember. It's been a while since I've animated a object within an object and not the entire object itself. I actually need to probably reanimate the staircase for reaching the underground area, which maybe like 5% of you have seen. It was in the old demo for Text Quest, where you would actually solve a puzzle to cause a staircase to open up, and you would descend it to get to this level that we're working on right now. So with that open, let's go ahead and go to... So we're going to make 60 frame... Oh, nope, that jumped to 60. I'm going to open this up to 60. I probably don't need to make them this smooth, but I like to make them smooth. Anyway, so let's go to 31, hit S again. Why didn't you hit S? Really? Is it because... There we go. Weird, it wasn't doing it. So let's go to 60. We'll rotate this closed. And we'll hit S again. So now if we scrub, so we go... The reason we have that frame buffer there at the beginning is because animations have to be at least one frame long. So you can't have an animation go from frame 1 to frame 1. It has to go from frame 1 to frame 2. So that means our closed animation, even though it's not actually animating, is frame 1 to 2, so there's no movement whatsoever. And then our opening animation is frame 2 to 30. Then our open animation is frame 30 to 31. Then our closing animation is from 31 to 60. Oh, sorry, that's 59. I was like, I see it. It's offset. It's like, nope, that's just because it was at 59. So yay! That's all animated and fancy and wonderful. Oh, I guess real quick. Object mode. Right click. Assign existing material. I think I have a magma. No, I don't have a magma platform mat. Well, let's make one. Window. Material. Hypershade. I really need a better process for doing materials, I think. This level's not that bad, but some levels can get pretty nasty texture-wise. Let's go to Attribute Editor. We'll call this Magma Lift Matte. Its specular color will probably be 0. And that's all we can do for now. So with that selected, we'll assign existing material, Magma Lift Mat, and assign that to the door as well. Assign existing material, Magma Lift Mat. Good. So that's in now. And if we bring this into... I might... No, I'll just assign that in Unity. So with object mode, let's go ahead, actually, to make it display in non-wonky ways. Let's auto layout. Let's create UVs, right? Automatic mapping. Then edit UVs, UV texture editor. This is just going to be a quick and dirty thing. So we'll select all of these. polygons, copy using the UV set, light map, make sure we're in there, we are, polygons, layout, nice, UV sets map 1, and, oh right, polygons, rename current UV set to be texture map, bow. So all of that's fine, we're not actually going to do anything with it yet. Let's go back over here. We are going to create UVs, automatic mapping. Again, copy those over, polygons, copy UVs into UV set, light map, and then layout. All right, so that seems to be working just fine. I didn't accidentally get all of them, did I? No. Okay, just making sure I didn't have like the weird. Okay, so those should have semi-okay UVs. So I might just slap a texture on it when we get into Unity. So for now, let's go ahead and say oh, actually, nope. Before we do that, oh, it is called Magma Lift or Magma Lift. Hooray! But make sure we have the entirety of Magma Lift selected. We're gonna file, export selection, and it is just going to be called Magma Lift. Magma Lift. And we need to make sure that we export animation. We do. Don't need to export anything else. We will bake animation in there. I do think, I don't remember if I have to bake animation or not, but it's fine that we do it. So all that stuff should be fine. Okay, so let's export selection. And we'll go over to Unity. Alright, I still got an error in my XML parser. Man, that's been there forever. Models. Levels. Underground. Might add it to magma, just because it's the magma. Magma river. And folder lift. Which I'm actually really excited to finish up working on the caves area, because the surrounding 3 areas are really they're the last part of the game, or the last 3 big levels of the games, really. And did I export it to the right place? What the heck? Oh no, that's the right. Okay, yeah. There we go. So we'll pull Magma Lift here. Yeah, the last 3 levels. In particular, I've been wanting to work on the Magma River for a very long time. Ever since I thought of the premise for it, I've been really excited to work on that level. So I'm excited to get the chance to work on that. And I'm pretty sure that once I get in there, you guys will be excited too to mess around in that level. 0.5. Okay. So that's good. Oh, I also need to do some animations with it. Just to test. Good, that's all in there. So start at 1, end at 2. We're going to call this closed. This is a pretty common thing that I do for, don't need to loop time, it only needs to happen once. Yeah, this is a pretty common set of import animations for objects in TextQuest. There's often a closed, a open, which is, as we've said, 30 to 31. Apply, add one, closing, which is 31 to 60. Apply, and a opening, which I just completely got sidetracked. Yeah, most animations are, or for objects, are these four animations: open, closed, closing, and opening. Um, and that's just because 9 times out of 10, that's what's needed. Super Kojo 09, hello. Um, Thank you very much. I'm glad that you like it. um, yeah, if you haven't had the chance to try the demo and you're bored, I would actually give that a try. Because that actually does a really nice job of sort of conveying what I'm going for, more than just watching me does. But I guess don't tune out of the stream because I need viewers. Um, but where was I? Got sidetracked. Oh no, excitement derailed me. Oh yeah, the four animation things. But yeah, it's just a sort of weird thing that I've noticed that I have just those four things a lot of the time. So Magma Lift, we're just gonna change its specular smoothness down to 0. Or actually, we might go 0.25 to make it blend with the tiling a little bit better. And then we're just gonna sort of cheat and slap the metal tile on it right now. See how that looks. Yeah, it's not great, but it just gives us a nice way to visually distinct to tell the edges a little bit easier. When everything's solid gray, it's hard to tell. So we have this, and we're going to need to actually come up with. I do have a separate thing for animators. I probably shouldn't do that. I'm just going to stick, create a animator, or animation controller. We'll call it Magma Lift controller. So, I guess I haven't shown you guys how I do this stuff yet. So, we're going to have a couple of things. Create a state. Which will be called closed, and then make a new state, call it empty, if I can spell, create a state, call it closing. Why did I call that empty? That should be open, not empty. Open, and then create a state, empty, and opening. So then we're going to make transitions between all of these, plus transitions between these two. And it's kind of hard to see that. Let me zoom this stuff out. I think that's just because when I scale this stuff for streaming, it distorts the sides a bit. So we're going to move this over. So we have that set up. Next we need to actually import the animations, which we've created. So we have closed here, opening, open, and closing. But now we actually have to create some bools to control that stuff. So we have is closed, is open, is closing, and is opening. So let's check is closed off, or actually no. I'm going to check off is open first. We're going to make transition. Actually, hold on. Set this as default state. So we want to start in the with the door open. And then we're going to just do this real quick. Conditions if is closing equals true. Then don't need to do that. That's going to be time-based. And moving from closed to opening is if is opening equals true. And then we'll move from is closed to is open if is open is true, and move from is open to to closed if is closed is true. And that's so that if we come into the level, it will automatically snap to being open or closed as we need it, and it doesn't have to go through the closing or opening animations. Because whenever you load a model into a scene, it's actually loaded into its default state, which means that if, say, we have the magma platform moving when we load from a level transition, it's not actually reached the platform or something like that, then it would come in with the door open, which wouldn't make sense. So what this tells it is, as soon as the scene loads, immediately switch over to closed if we tell it to set is closed to be true. And then, of course, we'll have to set is open to be false. And I think I actually have a behavior. Yes, reset animation variables. So with this, we want to reset the ID is open, should be false. We don't want it to reset on exit. Is opening should be set to false, should not be reset on exit. And that should be it, actually, if I remember. It's been a while since I've had to set up animations, but this is a script I wrote to handle transitioning animation states. And I actually needed this because in instances like this where I'm telling it to go back and forth between is open and is closed, if I don't have that, it actually keeps going straight back and forth between the two because it doesn't know what to do because it doesn't intrinsically set is open to be false when you leave the open state. So, fun tech talk. So we're going to add the same thing here, reset animation state. Again, it's going to be, I guess I could actually probably, well, no, that's fine. So it's going to be, not 12, it's going to be 2. And that's going to be is closed. It's going to be set to false. Oh, actually, wait. No. That's what it was. Okay. So I had these backwards. So is closing should be set to false. So is closed is actually going to be set to true and reset whenever the state is left. So that way it comes in as false, gets set to true while the state is true, and then when it leaves it gets set to be false. Same thing's going to happen to is open over here. And because of that, we're actually going to add a third thing. I thought that I needed 3. And that's going to be is closed is going to be set to false whenever is open is reached. And that's to prevent it from going back and forth between closed and open. Reset on close or on exit, we don't do that. So same thing here. It's going to be is open, and that should work. So that should be the animator setup. I think I set everything up properly. Is opening. So yeah, as is. It's probably not going to actually. So that's that animation, and then this one should be a closing one. Yep. Okay. And then this is just snap, 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 snap. Although oh no, actually I do need to change this a bit. So let's stretch this to that. It's, I don't like how it does this. So the way Unity actually does some of its, we want to do this in 1 frame, and right now it takes 4. So move this over here, move you over here. So there we go. So in 1 frame, that's what we want. It's still actually a little bit long, but we'll live with it. I think I can snap it this way. That way it should just, it's still going to be 3 frames. But yeah, when you're doing animations that are really short, like 1 frame long, like those have to be, it will actually stretch for as long as you have this transition going. So you need to be careful that it only takes one frame, or however many frames you have. Two, I guess, would be okay, but it really only takes 1 or 2 frames for people to see it during the scene load, and then it's very jarring. So all of that should be rigged up. We can apply a MagmaLift controller now. Hit save. And I think if we just plop in, it should animate to the door being open, which is what we want. And then we're just going to write a quick little script that will cause it to move as soon as we get in there. And yay! Door's open! Oh, I forgot to put colliders on it. I got so excited about the animation stuff, I completely forgot about it. Okay, so yeah, let me put on colliders. Ooh, gross. It's going to be a mesh collider. Ugh, I'm going to be moving a mesh collider. Not ideal. I really don't like doing that. I wish Unity had a nice thing like Unreal where you could generate either just total mesh colliders or a bunch of primitive colliders for an object. So Unreal, you can actually just sort of generate a bunch of square or cube capsules, box colliders. I don't know why I can't say it right. Square capsules. Anyway, so we're just going to add a mesh collider to this. That's fine. And the lift door is going to be a actual box collider because it's a square. So that's fine. So with that, might as well just add a quick script, which I already have open actually. I haven't made it yet. Sheet. We're going to say private void on trigger enter collider call if call equals sorry, dot tag equals player. And this is just again a quick and dirty thing to say if the collider that we've collided with is the player or has the player as the tag. Then we are going to go ahead and it's not it. We're just going to be. Oh wait, no. Right. Public transform start point public transform endpoint. And we're going to go above here and say private void move, I guess. And there's actually going to probably end up being a private enumerator. Probably don't need to make it this complicated. Move coroutine. And add a public float duration. So how long is it going to take? We'll just say it's going to take 5 or 10 seconds. So this is going to be start coroutine. Oops. Move coroutine. Float t equals 0. F while t is less than 1. F t plus equal time dot delta time times divided by duration. Yield return null. And then we are going to just say transform dot position equals vector 3 dot lerp start point dot position end point dot position d. So that should all move the platform for us. We're just going to call it move. And again, quick and dirty, so we're just going to add a public animator. I think it's, yeah, animator override. Runtime animator controller. Target animator. And then we're going to just say target animator dot set. Well, wait. Oh, that's not right. It's just animator, really? Okay. Oh, right, it would. Yeah, that's me being dumb. Target animator dot set bool is closing true. So that's just a quick and dirty way of telling it to close. Later on, I'll have a much more refined thing for this. But this should actually move the platform and have the door close behind us. But might want to separate that out, actually. Okay. I'm actually going to make a second script that's going to be just the trigger area, because I want to attach the platform, or magma platform, magma lift. I called it magma platform, even though I told you all that I was going to call it a lift. I'll have to rename the script. But for now, I'm actually going to make a couple of things. So logic. Let's go ahead and do this. Magma lift. Call it start point. Oops. And then an endpoint. Alright, so these both need to move over here. So, and actually magma lift is at 31.5, so you're going to be at 31.5 start point. And endpoint is going to be, way... freaking wrapping mouse. I hate when I do that. I should turn that off. It'll be about here. So, magma lift, all that stuff's fine. Crap. Oh wait, no, that's fine. That's the logic. I was like, oh no, I disconnected the actual transforms from each other. So that's fine, actually. Okay, so that's in there. That controller's in there. So let me add a trigger area. That's just going to have a box collider that's a trigger. Let's move this out here. Let's move it up. Give it a size of 3. Caps lock. 2y, 4y, and z of 3. I don't know, just kind of guessing. So that's going to be 31.5. So it's in the middle. So this way, as soon as I walk in, I should just walk right into it, and it'll activate. And this is actually going to be where I break out magma platform. Close that. Just call it magma trigger. Not bad. Normally when it reopens, it's pretty terrible and tries to reposition it to the bottom left of my screen for some reason. So we're just going to cut this stuff out. And we're actually going to grab this, move this over here, and add a public magma platform. Oh, right. I'm just going to say using TextQuest. Public magma platform, and then we're going to make move public for now. Probably should make it public anyway. So that's all saved. And say platform.move. So all that stuff should be fine. I think that'll all work. Let's go back to Unity. Let it compile. Go to trigger area. I have a really, really annoying bug floating near my monitor. It won't go away. That is bug is in an insect, not bug is in a problem with my code. So magma trigger is going to go on the trigger area. And then magma lift is going to have magma platform attached to it. The target animator is that. The start point is that. And the end point is that. And then we got to go back here to the trigger area and attach magma lift to that. Okay. I'm also going to add a real quick safety thing that I do for triggers whenever I'm doing them, and that's just private bool active equals false. Oh, that's the magma platform. Go up here. And not active. Equals true. And that just prevents the player from walking into the trigger, having it activate, and then walking back out, and then walking right back into it again to have it activate twice. It's always just a nice thing to tell it, you've been activated, don't activate again. So that's all there. So hopefully when I do this, it'll move. I'll be curious if I move along with it, honestly. I hope I do. Hope it doesn't just like sort of have me dragging at the end here. Oh, goody. Yeah, gotta work on that. But it made the level transition. That's nice. But yeah, if you notice, it's really, really jittery. So what I might end up doing, I don't know how well this is going to go, but so it turns on, it activates, it shuts. It's really, really jittery. But I do like it. I like the platform or the lift moving to make the transition. So we might try this just to see how it goes, and say, I don't remember if my player character actually has. Hold on. Prefabs, player, hero. Do I have a collider? I don't think I do. I think it's just a capsule. So I think we're going to try this and say col.transform.setParent platform.transform. So this hopefully will basically parent the player to the platform so that it moves smoothly with the platform. And it might end up deleting the player whenever the level gets loaded. We'll see. But ideally, this will smooth that out and make it so that we don't have to worry about that sort of jitteriness. Ideally. Oh dear. Okay, well, it's smooth, but I also got pushed forward and I couldn't move. Now, I wonder if it's because it's like some sort of relative movement. Probably is. Gross. Yeah. Well, it works. Just have to come up with a better way of doing it, I guess. The magma lift isn't scaled or anything, I don't think, right? No, it's fine. Just really weird that it launches you forward like that. If I save. Let's try that again. If I barely touch it. going backwards. Yeah. Like, gotta fight against it to... Huh. Wonder why it's doing that. Well, at any rate, we have the movement going on. We have the platform in there. Still needs to be textured, of course, but it's actually in there. Doesn't look too bad. Feels nice. Doors animation is nice and fluid. Yeah, I'm liking it. We're getting closer and closer every time to finishing up this level. And I think the only thing I'll probably come through and smash apart is going to be maybe the entrance to the labyrinth area. Mostly just because it's kind of basic right now. But, who knows? We'll see how that actually ends up meshing with everything else. The last really big thing, besides UVing, of course, is going to be this center platform. And I got to figure out a good way to texture it. Because I don't want it to look bad. And it's an octagon, which is kind of tough to texture historically. It's really awkward. I think I'm going to end up having a separate texture, one for the center here, and then one for the steps. But the center texture, I'm thinking I want to try and animate it with colors, but I'm going to have to look in how to do that with shaders. I've never done sort of lit up along a path shaders before. That might be something visually interesting to show the player that they have made progress. So whenever you clear the magma river or something, maybe there's like a red strip that powers up here. And then once you've gotten all 3 colored strips done, it'll open up the path to the under castle. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good spot for today. Got a magma lift in there. You know, that's what I was hoping. I was hoping I would be able to go through it fast enough and actually get it textured, but you know, I haven't made the texture yet. And the last time I tried to make a texture in front of you guys, it took me an hour. Which, of course, I'm happy to do, but I do understand how boring that can be. So I think that's a pretty good place to stop for today. And we will pick up probably in the same spot on Thursday. Hopefully by then, like I said, I'll have a new monitor, so I'll have a little bit of a better setup. And I will hopefully also have a couple of other back-end stuff taken care of, so I can do some more texture work and all that to make it a little more interesting. Maybe come through here. I really want to start adding lighting, because right now it's just a single directional light that I have casting through everything, which works for development, but obviously in the final game I need it to actually have some nice, richer lighting effects. And a single directional light is not going to do that. So I think that's good. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I will see you again on Thursday.